Alright guys, I know in my previous video I showed you how to install, I showed you that I told you I was going to show you how to make one of these. This is just a little swivel in for my 1/16 inch snares. So, because one of the stop buttons for a 1/16 inch snare, it's too little to fit through. I mean, it's too small, and it'll fit through one of these holes in these swivel washers. So I made these so I can just crimp down that S hook on the, let's say, the loop of one of my 1/16 inch cables, and go like that, crimp it down, and tie this off. So I'll show you how to make it pretty much from start to finish. Part of it's gonna be on one of these. This is called the not the Bob Custard. It's called the Snareman's Bender on Minnesota Trap and Supply. So if you look these up, I think it's like $21. 21 or 25, one of the two. But it's a real good price for a piece of equipment. You can make snare swivels, whammies, support collars, support wires. It shows you how to make like the pigtail support wire things. But pretty much I just make whammies and snare swivels with them. If you don't know what I mean by snare swivel, it's that most of the time they're squared, but the way this thing makes them, it makes them round. So, and that's fine for me. I'm not using stakes whenever I make mine. So I'll show you how to make it. First thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna need your piece of wire. I haven't made one in a while, so I'll just go with, well, that's about 9 inches of wire. So I got my 9 inches of wire. So now we'll come down here to the little bender, like right here. So we'll just pull, this is your crank. Oh, my bad. That's your crank. So you want to get this, and this thing can remove also. When you get this, put it about halfway, bend it in half, and put one of these wires over this little bar, and one of these wires under the bar. So we'll just go like that. And then I'm gonna need my pliers again. So you just get your crank, put it on here, and then you just spin it. Once I get to about here, I get my pliers, trim off so it's the same on both sides. Go like that. Get my pliers again. Then I can just spin it like that, press down, pull my thing out. And if I want to, I can get this and my pliers, and I can just crimp that down like that. And then if I want to, I can actually make the whole thing square now, but I'm not going to. So anyway, there's your snare swivel. Not bad. Hang on, my camera's all flipped. So there's your snare swivel. Okay, that's 14 gauge. I don't have 11 gauge wire up here with me right now, so that's trash. But okay, so now we'll bring you over here, and I'll show you everything you're gonna need. So of course you're gonna need your snare swivel you just made. You're gonna need your wire. This is about 9 inches also. So 9 inches, this is 3/32, 7x7 aircraft cable. you're going to need an S-hook, a stop button, double ferrule, and you can use one washer, but I like to use two. I think it lets it spin more freely. So you can see I got them two. And there's kind of a smooth part, and then there's a rough part. You want to make sure those two smooth parts are put together whenever you build this. And then the only tool besides your pliers and that are it's a swage tool. So let's get into it. I'm gonna sit down here. Got my heater going, guys. It's real cold. Well, thermometer in here says 29 right now. Past few days it's been, I don't know, probably, well, let's see, yesterday was whenever I woke up in the morning, it was 4. It was 4 degrees outside, so it's freaking cold. And it's been like that the past, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days. There's no way I'm going to do any more beaver trapping this weekend. I'll be lucky if I get some coon traps out. I doubt I'm going to go trapping at all, unless it's coyote traps. Because we haven't had too much rain. I mean, there's snow on the ground right now, but underneath pine trees, which is mainly where I'm going to catch a coyote, where I trap at. By pine trees, there's no snow on the ground. So, anyway, let's get into this, and I'll tell you more about that in another video if I want to. So, all right. So, now you get your piece of cable, and you go ahead and put your stop button on the end. I like to just flare out that end so that it makes it so that'll stay. So we'll go ahead and just crimp that down. If y'all know how to fix a swage tool, please tell me. I've been trying to fix this thing so long. It's ridiculous, but it doesn't close all the way. If you see that shut all the way, and there's a big gap in there, because this second gap right here is made for 3/32 cable, and I got to use the first one. So for both double ferrules and stop buttons. So okay, now since we did that, we'll just get this, okay, and then remember you want rough side on the stop button, so the rounded side is showing. You can see that versus that. There's a pretty big difference in how round that one looks and how square this one looks. You want to make sure that flat part is against the other one. So we'll go ahead. Well, the round part's against the other one, so now you can see that thing spins real good. And then you get your snare, your snare swivel, and put it on there. So now you got this thing that will rotate. Next thing you do is, hang on, I'm going to zoom it back out here. Next thing you do is you get your double ferrule, put it through one side, put it back through into the other, and then push that down pretty tight. Okay, that's good. Now we'll just crimp this down. Okay. And then I'm just gonna get my S-hook, put it, you see how I made that little loop right there? I'm just gonna put that S-hook through that little loop. I'm gonna crimp it down with my swage tool, actually. Okay, that's a normal crimp. Okay, but I like to do mine a little farther than that, so it makes it kind of flat. So let's get this and like that. Okay, so there, now you can see how it's flat. And there's your finished little snare support thing. I'm gonna hang this swage tool up. Okay. Now I use a J&S hook tool. The only reason I use that tool for this is, the swage tool for this S hook is because I can flatten them out like that. So, there's not really a snare that don't have it on here, but I'm gonna use my the one that I found a washer that had a small enough loop on it so that I could actually fit I keep forgetting what a snare swivel is. Okay, so let's say this is my loop end on my snare that doesn't have a swivel on it. I can get this S hook, put it on there, and then crimp it down like that, and I'm ready to go. So now this thing has a swivel on it, and it's good. Okay? So you can see how I connected that, just like that, just with the S hook. And then if I want to get this thing off the fence or wherever, I usually put snares on fence lines. But I just get this, open that back up like this, pull that off, and boom, there I got my snare off. I can replace that snare real fast, set the snare back up, and get on my way. So you can see these are my 1/16 inch snares. I use cam locks. It's got a deer stop on it, and they are spring loaded, so you see, not the heaviest load ever, but it's good for me, and it's all about your preference whenever it comes to trapping. So yeah. Go check me out on Instagram. It's WV Trapper. WV_Trapper, sorry. But I got a couple pictures of stuff I caught on there. I got a coon and a mink. They're both up there. I'm gonna try to be posting. I'm gonna try to post more stuff that I catch here in the next few weeks anyway, through March. I'm trapping beaver for a guy out the road here. It's quite a ways, but yeah, I'm trapping beaver for a guy. I got 2 beaver, so that's fairly good for me. That was the first night. I didn't catch anything all for the rest of the week, and then the very last day, which was Sunday, I think it was the 4th or 5th, I went up and I caught a mink. It was in a drown rig with a number 4 attached to its leg right now. So, but yeah, and then I had something pull out of my other trap same day. That was a number 3 offset. I think it was the offset that got me though, because I don't know. I caught a little beaver there previous to that, and I don't know. I guess they saw their buddies or something. I guess they just got taught about what the traps are. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get them here in the next, next warm day. Hopefully. So that's it for me, y'all. Again, I don't really know how I can go in much more detail on how to build these things, so if you leave me a comment where you want me to go in more detail, well, tough. I can't really go in more detail with these things, so yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Tell me what you think. Yeah, keep trapping. God bless, guys.